Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Way Podcast, where we learn in English poco a poco or podcast by podcast. Today, we are going to look at the B1 Cambridge speaking exam. Jack, my partner, he is going to be the examiner and sometimes a veces mi compañero, but I am going to be the student and I'm going to show you some ways that you can answer the questions. Students get very nervous about the speaking exam, but don't worry, the speaking exam is super sencillo. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy, and we're going to go through it poco a poco.
Bienvenido al podcast The Way. Si quieres aprender inglés y hablar como un nativo, estás en el sitio correcto. Hemos ayudado a miles de personas como tú a cambiar vidas aprendiendo inglés. Visita nuestra página web theway.es para conocer más sobre nuestros cursos, los cuales incluyen un examen oficial de Language Share tras su finalización. Todos los títulos de Language Share están aceptados a nivel mundial y los puedes realizar desde la comodidad de tu casa.
Okay, so we're going to start with the B1 practice exam for Cambridge. Jack is going to be the examiner, and sometimes when I need a partner, he will come and fingir, he'll pretend to be my partner. So I will be candidate A and Jack will be candidate B. Jack, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Excellent. Yes, me too.
Okay.
Let's start with part one.
Okay.
So, good afternoon. Can I have your mark sheets, please?
Yes, here you go.
Thank you. I'm Jack. What's your name?
My name is Aurelia.
And where do you live, Aurelia?
At the moment, I am living in Cabeza de Torres, which is a small town outside of the city center, but actually, I come from South Africa.
Thank you. And do you work or are you a student?
I work as a teacher in an English academy.
Okay, thank you. Now, how do you get to work every day?
Usually, I travel by car, but sometimes I also cycle on my bicycle.
Thank you. Now, tell us about the people you live with.
Well, it's only me and my husband, and so it's just him and I and our 2 cats.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Now we're going to start with part 2. I'd like you to talk on your own about something. I'm going to give you each a photograph, and I'd like you to talk about it. Here is your photograph. It shows people learning a language.
Okay. This photo seems to be taken in a library, maybe in the city or at a university. There are 3 people, 2 girls and 1 boy. The girl in the middle, she has makeup and she has long blonde hair. To the right is the girl with maybe curly or wavy hair, and she is wearing, I think it's a jersey. To the left is the boy, and he has a beard, and he is wearing a shirt. Maybe they are studying for a language exam, or maybe they are studying to practice their grammar or do something like that. Maybe it is spring or autumn because the girls have long sleeves, but the boy has short sleeves. And in my opinion, it's probably an English exam.
Thank you. Now, candidate B, here is your photograph. It shows people at a party. Please tell us what you can see in the photograph.
Okay. This photo was taken outside. It seems to be a family. There are 5 people. The man in the middle, maybe he is the grandfather, and the grandson and granddaughter are standing and they have presents in their hand. Maybe it is the grandfather's birthday and the presents are a surprise. In the background, there are some trees in the garden and some buildings. On the table, there are some plates and some water with drinks maybe. The mom and the dad also look very happy. And I think this is a good family afternoon celebrating together.
Thank you. Now let's move on to part 3. Now, in this part of the test, you're going to talk about something together for about 2 minutes. I'm going to describe a situation to you. A young man works very hard and only has 1 free day a week. He wants to find an activity to help him relax. Here are some activities that could help him relax. Talk together about the different activities he could do and say which would be the most relaxing. All right?
Okay. So, Jack, we need to decide on which activities will help the man relax on his free day. What is your opinion about going fishing?
Fishing could be interesting, but for me anyway, I find fishing can be quite boring because you spend a lot of time just sitting and doing nothing really. How about reading instead? I find that really stimulating.
Yes, I also like reading, but it depends on the book. Maybe our friend doesn't like to read, but he could also relax on the sofa, looking at his phone, maybe. I also like the idea of cooking. It is a nice hobby that you can do in your free time. Do you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. I find cooking's quite fun, and he could learn how to cook some more healthier dishes, such as salads and pasta, for example. He could also try some sports as well, like swimming. What do you think about that?
I like swimming, but yes, it's a good sport. But when you are with only 1 free day, maybe he doesn't want to be super active. Maybe he wants to do something more relaxing, like going for a walk with the dog. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that might be the best option. Going out with the dog, seeing the outdoors, and getting out of the house.
Yeah.
I think that's my personal favorite.
I'm between 2 options. I like the cooking and taking the dog for a walk. Which ones you said the physical activities? So the swimming and the walking the dog?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's meet in the middle. Let's go for the walking the dog.
Okay, cool.
Now let's discuss part 4. I am going to ask you some questions. What do you do when you want to relax?
When I want to relax, I like to read and I enjoy watching TV. Sometimes I write in a book like a diary, but mostly I am keen on just relaxing in my house.
Thank you. And do you prefer to relax with friends or alone?
I am very shy, so I prefer to relax alone so that I can disconnect.
Thank you. And is it important to do exercise in your free time?
Yes, in my opinion, it is very important to do exercise in your free time because it is very important to look after your body and your mind.
Okay. And do you think people spend too much time working or studying these days?
Not in Spain, maybe studying. A lot of students study a lot, but I think that in Spain there is a good balance between personal life and work life.
Thank you, Aurelia. That is the end of the test.
Thank you. And that's it. Finished. Remember, there are 4 parts to the exam. Part 1 is the interview questions. Part 2 is describing the picture. Now, I described both pictures, los dos. But in the real exam, you will have one photo and you do the one photo and your partner does the other photo. So 1 minute to do the photo. Part 3 is a discussion, a conversation with your partner about photos, and you must agree at the end on which is the best option. And then part 4 is just muy parecido de part 1. It's just questions. Sometimes the examiner wants you to speak alone, and sometimes the examiner wants you to speak with your partner. It just depends. And that's it. If you have any questions, you can find us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, right? And remember that if listening to this podcast, you can have 20%, 20% descuento, a discount, just by listening to this podcast if you want to go into any of our courses for A1 and A2, B1, B2, and C1. Otherwise, I will see you next week.
Si disfrutó de este episodio y quieres llevar tus conocimientos de inglés al siguiente nivel, te invitamos a todos nuestros cursos online, desde A2 hasta C1, que incluyen un examen oficial de Language Share que puedes realizar desde la comodidad de tu casa y que es aceptado a nivel mundial. Hemos ayudado a miles de personas como tú a cambiar su vida. Visita ahora theway.es y realiza nuestro test de nivel interactivo de manera gratuita.